if you open up, like you are, just because you say you're not man enough if you open up, honestly, you're the one that's not man enough. Because you're just holding in so much feelings and you're making it harder for yourself. And honestly, I don't respect you for that. I don't. Because you just look like an egotistical, tough guy that isn't tough in the inside.
We get nervous about the unknown before it happens. But then I think when the unknown happens, I think you and I are capable human beings of stepping into it.
Challenge yourself more often. And I say this because when I was 9, I was a scaredy cat, actually. I was a skinny little, like, twig. I had a lot of social anxiety. Very introverted around people I just didn't know.
All right, now that I hit the record button.
Take 2.
And cut. Yeah, you're done. We got it. Oh my gosh, if you guys could be here. So for those of you guys who are watching us on YouTube, Ethan and I are in our backyard. We got the fire pit going. I mean, dude, it's nighttime. Like the lights are on. So if you guys hear like that,
the little pit bikes.
The little beam, 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 beam. Those bikes going by.
Oh.
That's okay, you know, because this is a dad show and this is real life. So that's what it's all about. So, man, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, actually.
But like I would say like an hour ago, we kind of weren't. We were like pretty dragging.
Oh, yeah. I think we were kind of dragging a little bit. Like just like an hour and a half ago, we were just chilling out. I don't know what you were doing with Colton, but I saw you were hanging out with him.
We were doing Legos out here.
Oh, you were?
Oh, we were playing his little Switch for a little bit, and then we came out here after setup and we were doing Legos. But yeah,
me and Lawson were watching some TV downstairs and playing some VR too.
That thing makes me dizzy, especially like those games where what is that one game where you like, it's the Nerf gun thing and you're like in a giant room and you're like a little toy but you shoot things.
Oh, that's like Rec Room, but I'm not sure what game, because there's multiple games on there. I'm not sure what that game is called.
All I know is when you fall, what feels like 100 feet, like you feel like you fall. And for those of you guys that don't know, I actually have a scar on my middle finger and my ring finger on my right hand because I think we were playing that Rocky game.
Oh, right? Yeah, it was Creed.
And
The Rise of Glory.
Yo, so this is what happened. I was in the ring, Mick, and he was coming at me, and I was like punching like this, and then I went for a hook, and then I didn't know that the wall was there, and I like hit the wall. I hit the wall.
You were so close to hitting that glass thing that's in our wall.
Right, the glass.
Where the PS5 is and everything.
Dude, I would have gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
If I would have put my hand through that. I mean, I think God was with me on that one. I'm just glad I got this two tiny scars on my fingers here.
He went, look out.
Yeah, it could have been
pushed you out of the way.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, real quick, let's give a shout out to our show sponsor, which is who?
First Form.
First Form. We love First Form products. Been a customer there since 2009. I'm curious, like, what's your favorite thing there? What do you like?
Oh, man, there's so many things, but I'm gonna have to go with one of their supplements, their creatine. I use that stuff like all the time, but like before I work out. Sometimes whenever I just want to use it. Like you use it almost every day, don't you?
I use it every day.
Yeah, you use it every day. Yeah, so honestly, I think that's my favorite thing because I feel like I'm actually, like, if I use it, I feel like I'm getting the results that I need, all the supplements I need for my day. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, creatine is literally one of the best and low-cost supplements out there because it's great for recovery. Mm-hmm. It's great for, obviously, strength. It's great for even cognitive brain function. They're actually saying that even women now women over 40 should be taking creatine just to sustain lean muscle over time. And man, I take it every day. I take it with an electrolyte stick, one of the First Form electrolyte sticks. I love strawberry. That one's my favorite. I know it sounds weird, but I
think mine is the lemon flavored one, whatever that is.
Yeah,
it's lemonade.
There's lemonade. Yeah, and there's citrus.
That was my favorite.
I was a little bummed. They used to have mango.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I haven't seen it for. I think they might have discontinued it, but that was a good one. But yeah, I start every morning with 32 ounces of water, electrolytes, and a scoop of creatine, along with microfactor. But I'll tell you, man, one of the things that we've been doing, and we've had a video that recently came out. We make Formula One ice cream in the creamy.
Really?
Well, dude, like me and Lawson made it. We mixed up chocolate milkshake Formula One with a Fairlife, which has 30 grams of protein in the Fairlife, 23 grams of protein for the milkshake, and then we put in a scoop of the salted caramel. So it's like this salted.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
So it's funny in the video, like Lawson, like genuinely, I told him, I was like, don't act like you like it. Like, give honest feedback. You know how Lawson, when he really likes something, he kind of shakes when he eats it. He's like, oh, it's so good.
No, I actually haven't noticed that.
You haven't noticed that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, it's so funny. He's like, no, it's almost like he can't eat it fast enough. And I was like, we were doing the video. I was like, you really like it? He's like, it's so good. It's so good. And then tonight, he was like, Dad, do we have any of that ice cream? I was like, man, we got to make some more. But yeah, chocolate Fairlife, a scoop of milkshake, Formula One, chocolate milkshake Formula One, along with salted caramel Formula One. Let that sit for 8 hours, mix it up. Dude, 76 grams of protein in that bad boy. Not that you want to take in quite that much. So me and Lawson just split that, but it's delicious. But
yeah.
Anyway, you can find all their products, guys. Go to firstform.com/dad edge. That obviously helps out the show, helps out this show in particular as well. All orders over $75 will give you free shipping. All orders over $150, they usually throw in a pack of energy drinks, and then I think it's orders over $200, $250, they give you a shirt. All three of those things.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you First Form for all that. And by the way, if you don't like their products, they back it up with 110% guarantee. Don't like it, send it back. They give you all your money back plus 10% more. That's just the way they run over there. So
we love you, First Form.
Yeah, we do. All right, so let's get today's podcast. So today's podcast, man, things we wish we would have known like 10 years ago. Almost like the advice. You were 9.
I was 9 years old. That's kind of hard to believe that 10 years ago I was 9, and I remember like a lot of things before I turned 10, obviously, like what house we lived in, all my friends in the neighborhood, what school I went to, all that stuff. Like it's kind of crazy how fast the time went. Isn't that, like, I know you were saying a few episodes ago, whenever you have kids, time will go fast. And you said, no, they lied. It will go faster.
It goes faster, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm knocking on the doorstep now at 50 years old. And I remember when I was younger and I was thinking in 2025, I'll be a 50-year-old man. And, here I am.
And I was thinking, like, what's funny is that, so we have lunch pins and, for like purchasing stuff at the school, like a library book or lunch. That's why we call them lunch pins. Or even just for our emails, like it's our first and last name and then our graduation year. For the longest time, until I got to middle school, I didn't realize 25 in my email or in my like password. I didn't realize that was my graduation year. And I realized, holy cow, I'm graduating in 2025. That feels like so like far away. And here we are, 2025. I just did my graduation rehearsal, got all my cap and gowns, like cords, tassels, everything, and I'm about to graduate on Sunday.
I know. I mean, this is in June that this podcast releases. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna lie. When I see you cross, like,
I'm not going anywhere though, so that's probably the best part.
Yes, you are. You're kicked out tomorrow.
Oh,
we
darn.
haven't told you yet.
No, darn.
Oh, darn.
I'm gonna have to use some of that money in my savings account.
Yeah, that's not gonna last you too long this time.
Oh, darn.
All right. So, do you want to go first?
Some like advice for 10 years ago? Yeah, I can go first. Okay. Let's see here. So I have 3 things. Okay, so I kind of had a bit of like a writer's block first. Not really writer's block, but I was like, I kind of just hit like I don't know what I would tell myself kind of thing. But I thought of a few things, and we can definitely talk about them. So number 1, I wrote, challenge yourself more often. And I say this because when I was 9, I was a scaredy cat, actually. I was a skinny little, like, twig. I had a lot of social anxiety. Very introverted around people I just didn't know. Like, it was hard for me to make friends. I had a hard time asking questions in school.
It's the Fast and the Furious again.
Over there on the 4-wheeler.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Winning is winning. A win is a win.
That's right.
But anyways, as I was saying,
Go ahead. Sorry.
This is gonna be distracting, isn't it?
No, it's fine. Keep going.
But basically, number one, challenge yourself more often. I would tell myself that because, like I was saying, I was a little twig. I was like skin and bone. I wasn't necessarily short, but I wasn't the tallest kid. A lot of people that towered over me. I felt pretty intimidated by a lot of people. Social anxiety. I was very introverted around people I didn't really know. I had a hard time asking questions with my teachers, even though my teachers really liked me a lot. I had a lot of help and support in my schools, and I just was too afraid to even just ask to go to the bathroom. That's what I was scared of.
I think
a lot.
You know, so I haven't seen your list. But I got to be honest, that kind of surprises me a little bit. Do you know me and Mom we gave you a nickname when you were younger?
What is it?
This is the first time you're hearing this.
Oh boy.
The Daredevil.
You called me the Daredevil.
We did because, so like for instance, you always. So I appreciate those examples.
It was mostly just in a school setting.
Yeah, like maybe like among your
or
peers.
sports setting.
Sports, yeah.
Because I didn't like sports. That was actually the time I was doing wrestling. Hated it so much. I was not that great at it. And I dreaded every single practice and every single tournament. I was so scared. I remember coming to you one time at a tournament crying because I didn't want to do it. And when I would lose, I would cry. But when I would win, I'd feel so bad I would cry. I was a weird kid wrestling. I was not that was not my kind of sport growing up. But I wish I did it more often because I did it in high school. And it helped me first time a little bit because I had some of the basics.
I think that is such a good lesson. That's something that's going to serve you later on. But, you know, you completely changed over the years, though. Like you became in me and Mom's eyes like very daring, you like almost you got comfortable being uncomfortable. Like so, you went out for band. You weren't afraid to, start with the trombone, and then you were like, I think I'm going to do saxophone, and then like you would just pick up a guitar and start playing. Like I'll never forget when we were on this deck out here. And we were listening to OAR.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and I remember you like you had a guitar in your hand, and you kind of like.
No, I was the saxophone.
Oh, you're right. It was the saxophone. You're
and
right.
I
started playing.
Can I say the song?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was "City on Down" by OAR, and there's a live, I can't talk right now. Okay. My mind is moving so fast.
It's all right. It's a podcast. You don't have to
talk. But it was the song "City on Down," and it was like a live video of it. So it was like in an audience and everything. I don't know where it was being played though. And Jerry on the saxophone was playing his part, and I was like, only a few notes. I was like, I think I can play that. Yeah. I pulled out my saxophone and I started playing a few of the notes, and you were just like, how did you do that?
I was blown away. I was totally blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, you can play music just by hearing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's unreal.
Well, with saxophone, I mean, sure, the instrument looks really intimidating with all those buttons and keys and all that stuff. Like, it really isn't that hard once you get the hang of it. It's just finding out which buttons you're pushing and how the rhythm works.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the rhythm is a little harder, and obviously it's more if you have a music bone or if you develop a music bone, then it gets easier. But since I've done music before, I was just like, I think I could play this actually.
Yeah. I love that, man. That is really cool.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, you did something even really daring too. Like, I tell this story actually a lot, that when you were in band, that I'll never forget it. Like you mentioned just now that you hated wrestling when you were like 8, 9 years old. And sophomore year, you come up to me and Mom and you're like, I think I'm going to go out for the wrestling team. And we were like, really? Okay. And we were like really excited for you. And I was like, wow, the first thing that came to mind was, I was like, man, he's doing something like really, really daring. And then we came up with that term, the pattern breaker, because
oh my gosh, that's right.
I don't know if hardly any kids, in your school that were in band that would also do wrestling. And the interesting thing was, I'll never forget, I think it was your junior year, like we were concerned, and I think you were too, that the wrestlers were going to kind of give you a lot of grief because you played band. Yeah. And it was actually the opposite. The wrestlers like loved the fact that you wrestled and you played an instrument, and then the band kids kind of turned on
Oh
you.
my gosh, no. Here's the funny part. The wrestlers were like, wait, you do band? I was like, yeah, go ahead, get out of your system, make fun of me. Like, no, dude, that's freaking awesome. You're a band kid and you're wrestling. I've never seen that before. And then the band kids were like, wait, you wrestle? I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's weird. I was like, why? It's like, because that's so hard. You have to get up early for tournaments. You have to do really hard practices. I was like, yeah, that's why I do it, because it's something hard. And they're like, that's just weird.
You should have made him feel really weird and show up to band practice in your singlet or saxophone.
Actually, I've thought about, like, because during that time, during wrestling season, that's also when basketball season is, and that's when we have to play, like, pep tunes in the bleachers.
Right.
I was thinking about just, like, right after wrestling, and I was not going to do this because that would be disgusting. Just show up all disgusting and sweaty with my shoes and my knee pads and just be like, okay, I'm ready. Let me grab my saxophone.
Yeah. Who wants ringworm?
Does anyone want a handshake or a hug?
I love that lesson, though. I really, really do. I think that's a great lesson. That's a lesson that I think you probably learned early on, but I think we just gave a great example of how it served you really, really well. So that's awesome, man. Yeah. Do you want to go to your next one, or do you want me to go?
Is it okay if I do my next one?
Dude, go for it.
All right, sweet. So number 2 is don't let people.
We got the ducks in the background.
They were actually on our patio before we came out here.
That's hilarious. They're like, we want to be on the show.
Come on over here. Don't let people bring you down with certain things. And I wrote, you're gonna laugh at this. I wrote in parentheses, going to talk to your crush.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
This is one of the coolest things, man, about doing a show like this is like I haven't seen your list, and then when you say it, like I'm like, oh, I think I know what he's talking about.
Yep.
I think I remember. Go ahead.
When I was like 9 years old, I'm not saying who it is because that's going to stay private forever. Right. But I had a huge crush on this girl, and it took me so long to build up the courage to talk to this girl. I was so scared because she was one of those popular girls in our class. Like, I'm talking like our full, like, this is 4th grade. Yes, 4th grade. Yeah, it took me a second to remember. 4th grade, but she was one of those popular kids in the whole 4th grade class. Like, not just my class, the whole 4th grade class graduating 2025. And she had a huge group of friends, and I was so scared. I thought the best time to talk to her was at, like, recess time. This sounds so silly.
No, it doesn't. It's real life.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I finally, like, I was getting a lot of grief from a lot of people, like, you don't want to talk to her. Just don't go after her or whatever it is. And, like, they also were like, as soon as I talked to her, which I'll get into in a second, oh my gosh, I got made fun of so badly. I was so humiliated. I wanted to run away from the school. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should tell the teacher or if I should go to the principal's office or if I should. I was having like almost like a panic attack. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. I'm getting made fun of. I don't know what to do. I just wanted to run away and crawl in a hole and die because it was so humiliating. But the good part about that is that after recess was over, people stopped picking on me. It really wasn't that big of a deal. No one gave me a hard time about it. No one even talks about it anymore.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
You regret it?
Honestly, no.
Of course not.
Because I know now.
Yeah, you know.
Because I knew if I would have finished 4th grade without talking to her, I would have regretted it forever.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Good Will Hunting?
Is that the one with Robin Williams in it? I have not seen it, but I have heard of it.
All right, that's a movie we're watching together.
All right, sounds good.
It's really, really good.
I know Mason likes it.
It's one of those movies. It's an iconic movie, and it's really, really good. And I'll tell you, there's this part in the movie where, so like Will, I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but Will has a lot of issues. Okay, he grew up in a pretty abusive environment, but he's like a freaking genius. He's like kind of like the Elon Musk, like almost like beautiful mind, like Albert Einstein type of level thinking.
Really?
Like, yeah, brilliant genius. Like, and he's like a janitor, and he kind of like hides from the world because he's scared of, like, quite frankly, he has fear of abandonment, which is basically he doesn't want to get too close to people because the people that he trusted most growing up, like, deserted him or beat him or abused him and that kind of thing. So he has trouble in, like, relationships, friendship, not necessarily friendships, but especially with women. Meaning, like, he has a hard time trusting them, which he'll push them away before they get close to him. And the whole movie is about how Will, which is played by Matt Damon, and Robin Williams is his therapist, is teaching him basically life lessons on how to navigate relationships and trust and all that. And so Robin Williams, I'm not going to spoil his life and what happens, but there's this part where he talks to Will about trust and taking chances, right? And what that means in our life and taking chances. And he talks about this, and I'm not going to go into detail, but he talks about how he met his wife. And it was like iconic. And Will, the way he told the story to Will was like, I can't believe, like, you gave up this thing, because he was supposed to be doing something else, Robin Williams was, and he was so interested in this girl that he decided to go talk to this girl instead of go do this thing with his friends. It was huge.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, I can't believe you did that. He goes, yeah. He goes, and I don't regret it. He goes, because I'm not sitting here telling you about a girl that I saw in a bar one time, and I wish I would have talked to her because she ended up being my wife. And he's like, and I took that chance. So,
wow.
Yeah, like, we never ever regret. Like, we might short term, like, regret, you know, the feeling of embarrassment or, like, maybe not accepted or something like that. But, like, here's the cool thing. You know, you approach a woman and maybe she's not interested. But, you know, if you approach her with respect and you approach her with being genuine and she's not interested, there's a part of her that gives you a lot of credibility. She gives you a lot of respect, and she gives you more props than the guy who is too scared to come up and talk to her. And the cool thing is that you're not going to be like 50, 60 years old being like, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is a life, man, like, taking a chance. Like, you took a chance.
I did.
It was in 4th grade, but, like, that's a life lesson.
Like, honest. So what you were saying about, like, her giving me respect, other than the person who is scared, it was 4th grade. No one was paying attention to that kind of stuff. But I understand your point.
But it's the point of, you know, that type of mentality of like, I'm going to go take a chance.
Yeah.
Regardless of, I might get laughed at, I might get a no, but at least I'll know. And I did what I said I was going to do. Exactly. I love that, man. I think that's gold. You know what I'd like to do? I'm going to call an audible here, okay? Because this is so good, and this show is going to go on for so long if we get to mine. So here's what I want to do.
What's that?
I want to get to your last one. Okay. And then we'll end this show, and then we'll record next week's show doing mine, and we'll go back and forth on mine. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that. So did you want to move on to your third one?
Sure.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. So this is kind of something that kind of ties along with the first one, but I said expect hard things to come your way, because 4th grade I struggled a lot, and even like in some other cases past that time, I still struggled with prioritizing some things or time management skills, and I just wanted to be comfortable, but I can't really escape comfortability forever. Or not, I can't escape hard things forever. I can't just be comfortable forever, or else I wouldn't be who I am today, who isn't afraid to do something uncomfortable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So,
can we explore that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
What makes you uncomfortable about this point in your life right now, where this is a total close to one chapter, and it's an opening to another? And I remember being your age, like when I saw you come inside today with your cap and gown, I was like, I almost took a photo and sent it with me and you to my friend Matt, because my friend Matt and I graduated high school. He's my lifelong friend. Yeah. And I was gonna send him a photo, being like, dude, doesn't it feel like yesterday we graduated from DeSmet? Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of crazy how it all flew by. But I remember what it felt like when that chapter was closing and this next one was opening, and it was like, what's about to happen? But what's going through your mind with that?
Well, since it's something that's going to be really hard, like going into medical terminology to be an EMT and then become a firefighter someday, that is not an easy field. And I'm not the type of person that wants to be a doctor, because that's a lot of college and a lot of books and a lot of school, but it seems like being an EMT or a paramedic is the fastest way to becoming almost like a doctor, but on the road.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this is not going to...
Get in my truck. This is my office where I'm going to examine you.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically...
You want to hear the sirens? No.
Wee-woo!
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But obviously that's not going to be an easy spot to go through. But if I want to be a firefighter, I have to go through it. But the learning process, I have to read a lot of books, and do a lot of homework, a lot of memorizing too, like how to communicate with another EMT or a paramedic, like what's wrong in the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy, and it's a little nerve-wracking because I'm just like, oh, what if I don't memorize this one word and I completely mess up? And I'm thinking worst-case scenario, but I probably shouldn't be. But it's just like, wow, this is going to be hard, but I'm ready to get started.
And there you go. This is going to be hard, and I'm ready to get started.
Yeah.
So I think when you say this is going to be hard, can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel when you're like, this is going to be hard? What do you feel when you say that? And then what do you feel when you say, and I'm ready to get started?
When I say it's going to be hard, I'm just like, so many things could go wrong. Some things are going to be happening all at once. There are going to be a lot of situations, probably not as common as others or as rare as others, but there's going to be so many, it's a very unpredictable job. Like, you'll either have someone dying in the back of an ambulance or you'll have to go pay a visit at a nursing home. Like an annual visit. Like, it's going to be a variety of different things. But you really don't know what you're going to get into. I know that's going to be the hard part on some stuff, but I'm ready to get started is the part where I'm just like, I'm prepared to go into this, learn as best I can, and try to save people's lives, be there for people, try and make people feel better, and then someday become a firefighter and put out fires, pull people out of cars, kind of thing.
You say that with, obviously some reservation because it's new.
Yeah.
But you also say it, I hear confidence in your voice. I hear adventure in your voice, like embracing like exactly what you were talking about in the beginning of the show, which is embracing that discomfort.
Yeah.
Right? It's the unknown. But Ethan, as long as I've known you, like you're ready for the unknown. And I know you too. You and I are kind of wired pretty similar. We get nervous about the unknown before it happens, but then I think when the unknown happens, I think you and I are capable human beings of stepping into it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, I know, I might go through some moments where I'm just like, oh man, that was a little crazy to see.
Yeah.
This is really hard to watch, really hard to do. And I might need some help here and there because, being a paramedic / EMT / firefighter is not easy. There's a lot of people who do that, and the divorce rate for them is pretty high. And also, they still have a little bit of PTSD from some of that stuff. Like, it's not easy stuff. But I wouldn't say I'm prepared just yet for that kind of stuff, but I am aware of what I'm stepping into and what I need to be prepared for in the future. So
I want to give a little bit of a spoiler here because when we record the next show, one of the lessons I would have given myself is ask for help fast, ask for help soon, ask for help quickly. Don't go at it alone. So that's one of the lessons, and we'll explore that in the next show. But that is one thing that as you enter into this new chapter in your life with being a paramedic, with being a firefighter, you're going to see some horrific things. Yeah. And how do you feel when you hear that? Ask for help quickly. Ask for help soon. Don't be afraid to say, I just witnessed something that I really am having a hard time processing, and I need to talk to somebody. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, you did not hear that voice crack.
That just gave so much flavor to the show.
Oh my goodness gracious! Gosh dang, this is not gonna be the last time that's gonna happen.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
I am holding in a massive fart right now.
Oh
and if
wow!
I let it go. It's just.
Oh wow!
No, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyways, as I was saying, what was the question again?
No, when I say it's okay, to
Oh.
ask for help quickly.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what I was going to say.
gotcha. Okay.
But since I've kind of grown up in that environment where I know I can talk to people, I know who to turn to. I can turn to you guys. I can turn to maybe not some of my friends, but a very few of them I feel like I can actually open up to. And, my girlfriend, at the moment, like, I feel like I can actually I don't want to, like, her to be my therapist, obviously, so I kind of just
Yeah.
get it off my chest.
Right,
I don't
right.
ask for advice. I'm just like, let me just say this, and then we'll be on our way. But anyways, I feel like I've grown up in a very, like, please come talk to us. And I've actually taken advantage of that. Like, so many times where I've told people, please talk to me if you need someone. And only, like, a few people I can name actually take advantage of that. And others I never hear from.
That's life. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that. But yeah, I'm glad you subscribe to the other half of that.
Yeah. Like, I've taken advantage. Like, if I don't.
And there's crazy people again.
It's actually kind of crazy that this mic can actually pick up that
right?
stuff. But yeah, it's just I've really taken advantage of that, and I actually feel comfortable opening up, and I'm not less of a man because of that.
You're not.
And
No.
people who think that, you're already in the wrong direction. You need to turn around and go talk to someone, because that will make you feel so much better.
It will. Do you know my dad gave me some really interesting advice sometime?
Which one? Sorry, that was a little dark.
The one that my
Okay.
my biological father.
I'm sorry.
I know, right? There's many. But what I'll tell you is, I remember I was going through a tough time one time, and this was when, like, you were, like, really, really young, and I wasn't opening up about it, and my dad took me out to dinner, and I can't remember what it was about. I think it was just stress of work and marriage and being like a new dad and that kind of thing. It was just like life. And my dad knew that I was carrying, like, stress. And my dad took me out to dinner, and he was, hey, are you okay? What's wrong? And I played the tough guy card, right? I was just like, I'm good. I'm all right. And he's like, well, I know you're not. And he's like, you seem pretty miserable right now. You seem pretty stressed. And I was like, I am. And he looks at me, he goes, can I share something with you that's pretty blunt? You might not like it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. He goes, Larry, misery is a choice. And I was like, and I just, like, looked at him. I was like, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, you can harbor all your stress and be miserable and not talk to anybody, or you can talk to people who really care about you and be less miserable. It's really up to you. And I don't know what it was, but it's like when someone's asking you over and over, like, talk to me, what's wrong, and people kind of shut down more. But as soon as you lay that ownership on somebody of, like, hey, misery is a choice, and you're choosing that. So you could actually make life quite a bit easier right now if you allow that. Yeah. And, man, that just hit home. So, Ethan, I'm so glad, man, that as you enter into this next chapter, that's the attitude you have. And dude, you're going to be around other firefighter brothers that are going to be exactly like the people that you described. And I think you're going to be one of those incredible men that call men forward and give them permission to talk about things that are tough. I really, really do. Yeah.
Like, I want people to, because I know so many people, and I don't like that they do this. They literally, like, if you cry, you're just not man enough. I'm just like, and I honestly used to be like that. And whenever I started talking to more people, I realized, man, I was wrong. I was so wrong, and I am glad I was wrong. Yeah. But I look at those people, and I'm just like, you don't look any tougher. You just look like someone who's holding in so many feelings that you just need to say something, and you're going to bawl your eyes out. Like, you look like if you say something that's a little triggering to your, like, hard time right now, you look like you're about ready to break. Please, my advice in this podcast, I know I'm, like, not really the type of person to give advice, but
oh, yeah, you are.
I guess I am.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody can give some words of wisdom to people. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
You are more of a man, or even just a person in general, if you open up. Like, you are, just because you say you're not man enough if you open up, honestly, you're the one that's not man enough. because you're just holding in so much feelings and you're making it harder for yourself. And honestly, I don't respect you for that. I don't. Because you just look like an egotistical, tough guy that isn't tough in the inside.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely one way to put it. But,
I'm just speaking the truth.
No, I think there is some truth to that. And I think you want to know something else that's kind of cool about that? So when one man talks about what's going on in his life, gets what we call real, vulnerable, and authentic, right? And basically shows his true colors. What he does is he not only, unpacks what's going on for him, but he also actually gives permission to the men around him to do the same.
Yeah.
Because when a man goes first, that gives the other men in the circle of that friendship or that group or that organization the same permission to do the same. Because when a man goes first, they're like, well, shoot, man, if Ethan did it, like I can do it, right?
Yeah.
Or like suddenly we also feel more relatable to that person. Like, man, I suddenly feel like I know Ethan more now.
Yeah.
And the other last thing and cool thing about that is, like, men love to solve problems. Men love to give advice. And in fact, sometimes it's to our detriment.
Yeah.
But when we ask for another man for help, we're actually complimenting him. Like, we're actually honoring that other man. Like, how cool is it that you go to somebody and be like, hey, man, I could really use your advice. And that's basically saying, like, I look up to you and I could really use some words of wisdom from you. And that man usually is like, yeah, I would love to do that.
That is
right?
actually amazing. Like, if someone asks, like, a few people have actually been like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, really? Yes. Go ahead. Go. Go. Talk to me.
No,
But,
that's
like,
good.
can I get a little religious real quick?
Yeah.
But basically, there's a Bible verse in the Bible, and unfortunately I don't know the Bible verse yet. But it's the shortest Bible verse in the Bible. It's called Jesus Wept. He is the most perfect man who's ever walked on this earth, ever. And he has broken before. So just because, like, you think it's not man enough to do that, think of the most perfect man who has ever walked on this planet. He has done it before.
Great.
So honestly, you're just more of a man if you are able to do that. If you're able to feel your feelings.
I love that, man.
That's what my girlfriend says, feel your feelings.
Well, it's part of the human experience.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, I got to tell you, man, this has been an awesome show. We're going to go ahead and wrap this show.
All right.
As we head out of here, is there any last things you want to say?
I'm just glad to be here. I love this. I'm actually bummed that it's ending.
Well, I mean, we're going to be recording a lot of these.
I know.
So
I'm excited.
There's more to come.
I just love talking.
Me too. I love talking to you.
I love talking to you too.
Me too. Hey, gentlemen, listen, go follow us at our YouTube channel. This is where all these podcasts are at. It's the Dad Edge YouTube channel. We've got tons of resources for you over there. Also, over at thedadedge.com, we've got all kinds of resources for you over there. 21 Days to an Extraordinary Marriage, 25 intimate conversation starters for you and your wife. I've got a course on creating more patience with your kids. Also, a course on creating an extraordinary marriage with your wife. And, of course, if you want the live group coaching community, we've got the Alliance for all my 9-to-5 career guys out there. And if you're a business owner, we got the Dad Edge boardroom for you over there. You can find all that over at thedadedge.com/mastermind. Ethan, such an honor.
This has been amazing.
Such an honor doing this with you, dude. This is like food for my soul, and hopefully yours too.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
I feel like this is so cool that we get to even talk about these things. Like, I feel like we kind of talk a lot about this stuff, like, casually.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we get to share this with people is pretty awesome.
Me too. It's great. I feel like it helps our relationship.
It really does.
It does. It's cool.
I honestly noticed, like, I can tell that you're a little overwhelmed before we start these, especially when we're getting a new setup. For the past 3 shows, we've had a new setup.
Every time.
Every single time. And I can tell you're just a little bit overwhelmed or just a little stressed.
Well, the reason is because I'm not a techie guy. I'm not a camera guy.
No.
Like, so I'm like, where do I put these things? Like, what button do I push? So, yeah, I'm new to it. But, like, yeah, it's one of those things, to be honest. I do put a lot of pressure on myself because, like, I want these to be so good with you.
Yeah.
Like that's why, you know, and yeah, it comes across as like I'm trying to, I put stress on myself sometimes, but yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out because that's an opportunity of growth for me.
Yeah. What I was really gonna say is like I notice how stressed you can get a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we're done, we're just like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like we just have like. We just feel better when we're done.
We do.
Yeah.
I kind of do. I rev myself up like it's kind of like before you go out into a wrestling match.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like you're in the zone, like you're zoning in, like
Yeah.
you're really tuning in to like.
You just don't want any distractions.
Right, kind of like that, but it does. It probably doesn't come across great, but I appreciate you pointing that out.
Yeah.
'Cause it's an opportunity of growth.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Not like like calling you out or anything. I'm just
it's
an
good.
observation.
Yeah, feedback is a gift.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, till next Wednesday, go out, live legendary. Take care.